Do you want to enter wizard mode?
Hello and welcome to Wizard Mode, the podcast that gives you the rundown on what's been happening this past week in gaming. We also indulge in a little nerdy talk as well. I'm just going to play that video because I totally forgot. And we stream the podcast live every Saturday, 8 p.m. GMT, noon Pacific, over on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, YouTube now. And if you miss it, don't worry, you can watch it on demand on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. I set that up last week because people seem to be listening to that thing. And so yeah, this week I am joined by Robert.
Hello.
And his brother Matthew.
How are y'all?
And Chris can't be here this week. He's at a wedding. So this is another week he's had to miss it, yeah. But yeah, so how have you guys been? Give us the rundown on what you've been playing, what you've been up to.
Beat Doom on Ultraviolence. As you can see, the footage that you're showing is you playing it, obviously, but we've been thinking about Doom probably all week. Yeah. All three of us.
Yeah.
So
I've been playing the hell out of that game. I completed it as well, but only on normal. I wish I started on Ultraviolence, but I thought, fuck it, I'll just play it through on normal, complete the game. I was having so much fun. I was like,
Yeah. Honestly, on Ultraviolence, I don't know how much of a difference there is between that and difficulty and normal, but on Ultraviolence, like some of those later battles, I just get this euphoric rush afterwards because there's so much like strategy. You're basically skating around the entire arena. You're like, okay, I'm gonna shoot this guy. I'm gonna throw a grenade here. I'm gonna hit this guy in the face. Drive by, shoot this guy.
yeah. There's some proper like kind of you're parkouring around as well. Like the mantling is like a brilliant addition to it because I'm currently working on a little review for it. Spoilers, but I say about how it feels so new yet so nostalgic, and it does everything so well. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and it knows exactly what it is. And so it knows all of the beats it needs to make, and I was having so much fun playing it. And the music is incredible. It's not really the sort of music I typically listen to, but like it proper got me pumped. And I posted a video on it the other day about like the making behind the music and stuff. And the composer is incredible. Yeah. He looks like such a friendly chap, yet the music is just like it's amazing though.
It looks like whenever he makes his like face opens up and like the anus of hell comes out. But it's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Having so much fun with it. The shooting is really satisfying. And like it seems like everybody is, having a great time with it.
It's kind of unanimous, really.
Yeah. I mean, I've only played about 2 hours of the game because I ran into some performance issues because I'm running a native 4K monitor, and for some odd reason, whenever you turn it down to 1080p, it doesn't really scale properly. It puts like a small window at the top left-hand corner of your screen. Oh, really? So I either play that at 80 or 90 frames a second, or I play at 4K at 40 or 45 frames a second at best, and sometimes dropping down into the 30s. It kind of sucks, and I really wish id Software and AMD, because I'm running an AMD card, would get onto Crossfire support, because that would make my experience so much better.
I imagine it's around the corner. That sort of thing usually, like with Nvidia, they're really good at rolling it out straight away, but I think they must have worked closely with Nvidia or something for this.
Well, Nvidia actually doesn't have SLI support right now.
They're
working on it.
Oh, really?
No, they do not have They don't have SLI support.
I remember I got Shadow of Mordor, and I had two 660s, and I was like, this game's running like shit, and I was like, oh fuck, there's no SLI support. Like I'm gonna try and like in the future just avoid SLI if I have to. I really want a 1080, but then I thought, why didn't I just SLI 980 Ti? But then I don't really want to SLI it, but it's going to be so much cheaper.
Well, the one cool thing is, I mean, with DirectX 12, once it gets actually more implemented, you can actually multi GPU support for different cards.
Yeah,
so if you got a 1080, you can always keep the 980 Ti in there just on the off chance,
just to give it that extra needless
extra edge. Yeah,
doesn't even need it. Like this, even with like a 980 Ti, it's still a new card. It's only been out like a year now. the game runs like flawlessly. I was getting easily 144 frames. It was maxing out at the refresh rate. And it's just crazy, like how well optimized it is. I know it's not open world or anything, like linear levels, but like the graphics are amazing. And
yes.
But for all of you wanting to play at 4K out there, be mindful that you're going to need something very powerful. A 970 or R9 390 by itself is probably not going to be the best performance at 4K.
Right.
No.
But anyway, like when it comes to the game, one thing that a lot of people were kind of like leery of is like the whole glory kill system. You find that later on that you don't really use it unless you need it, because the whole point of the glory kill system, other than looking cool, is to get squeeze a little bit of extra health and ammo out of the people that you kill.
Yeah, and like there's an upgrade system as well, which is a really awesome addition to Doom.
You can kind of augment your play and make it to where you can be really fast or really tanky. Or
exactly. A lot of the runes I was unlocking, I kind of focused them towards enemies dropping stuff on glory kills. So I was getting them to drop more ammo, more armor, and everything like that. Yeah. So glory killing for me was quite a main thing. If I could do it, I would. But the chainsaw's a really good strategy as well, though, because as soon as you cut through them, they will just spill out all this ammunition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I typically reserve that just for like big enemies. Like when I first ran into a Hell Knight, that's what I did to him.
Yeah.
Right. Well, sometimes, like later on, especially at the higher difficulties, you find that like one thing it doesn't really outright tell you is that the larger enemies take more gas to kill. So if you kill like a really big enemy, that's one use. But if you're running around and you can find like a small enemy and you just need a little bit of ammo, you can just do them really quick and then keep running and then just start shooting again. Yeah. There's a lot of nuanced strategy to it that doesn't really tell you, but you can figure it out.
Yeah, I didn't really realize until I ran up to like the huge demon one, the big red one. I can't remember their name.
The Baron of Hell.
That's it. I ran up to him like, I'm gonna chainsaw you motherfucker, and then I was like, oh shit, I haven't got enough gas, and then he like just smashed me and I went flying. But,
ripped off your entire bottom torso.
Yeah, learned the hard way.
One thing I did find kind of confusing at the beginning though is the chainsaw doesn't take up a weapon slot. So what happened was when I got the chainsaw, I immediately went out there and got killed. And then when I respawned there, I'm like, wait, the chainsaw's not there. And I'm looking through my weapons menu, and I'm like, wait, what the hell?
Yeah, they assign
I find
it to
out later
G.
there's a special button for it.
It's a game where you have to like they'll give you the information once. They're like, use the chainsaw and press, like I have mine mapped to F, and then I also have the BFG, which has its own button as well, mapped to caps lock.
Mine's mapped to a mouse button.
Oh, okay, so that's quite
useful.
One
of my extra mouse buttons.
It threw me off a little bit as well. The grenades, you cycle them with F1 and F2. And I
changed mine to G.
Yeah, that was really confusing. I was like spamming G. I was like, no, put the chainsaw away. Like, where's the grenade button? I don't know. But yeah, like I loved that game so much.
Yeah.
I'm not that keen on the multiplayer. I think the multiplayer is actually really average and it's really confused. It doesn't really know what it's supposed to be. But the single player is phenomenal.
Quake.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like they mixed in Quake with Doom, basically.
Right. Like if you played the multiplayer, do not take that as indicative of the single player, because it's a totally different beast.
Yeah, because when the beta came out, everybody's really like, oh, I don't know about Doom, but the single player is what it's all about, really.
Well, and another thing is, and I'm not sure if anyone else had this problem, but I couldn't get the Doom beta to run worth of crap. I mean, it ran for like maybe 1 second when I got in the match and just crashed.
Yeah.
And I was like,
I had some issues.
I was so hesitant about buying the game because of that.
Yeah, I honestly think it was less than a beta when they released it.
Oh, yeah.
Honest.
Like alpha or maybe even just early access.
But I've never run into a single bug in this game or performance drop or anything. Even when I was recording, there was no stutter, there was nothing. Like,
I haven't had any performance issues. I've had some crashes involved with the menu. Matt and me have both had some audio pop-out issues towards the beginning of the game before you actually start.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, when I start the game, it's going really stuttery and framey, like in the menu, and there's no sound. So I quit, launch it again, and it's perfectly fine. That's the only sort of weird thing. But in game, I haven't got anything.
Now, one thing I want to ask is, did you guys type in the special code to skip the intro? Because that's one thing I did.
I haven't done that yet.
I had problems with at the beginning it crashing during the intro cinematic. And all I had to do was type in to skip the intro cinematic, and it's been fine.
Most games have that kind of skip thing you can add to the launch controls on Steam. But anyway.
I don't have the intro cinematic anymore.
Yeah, that probably caused some problems. But other than that, the game's running flawlessly. I love how they paint the Doom guy as this kind of prophet. Like at the very beginning, like they're all bowing down on that hologram, like worshipping him while he's in the tomb and stuff. And then over time, it just starts to build and build, where they think you're some sort of demigod.
You basically it kind of implies that this isn't actually a reboot. It implies that after at least Doom 1 and 2, because I think I've read that Doom 3 is a remake of Doom 1.
Yeah.
Like a straight remake. So they're basically saying that you've already gone through the stuff of Doom 1 and 2, and you're basically, like, renowned in hell and on Earth as a badass. Like, you're the arbiter of death when it comes to demons.
Yeah.
And if you, later on in some of the later levels Matt hasn't played on, you basically get these little things that tell in, like, this demonic voice, and he came, and they were so scared, and they went and pissed their pants, and he was just fucking them up.
There's a
Just
bit here where
stuff
I'm
like
grabbing a collectible. They're awesome as well.
Yeah, there's one part of the collectible that I didn't like. There's a specific collectible that looks just like the Doom guy, and I saw a GIF online where he like
fist bumps
and this is it right here.
No, he like moves the arm up and then he like fist bumps it.
Yeah, and then he does his little finger like wiggle.
The little
Yeah, it's really cool. That's what I mean. Like it doesn't take itself seriously, and it knows exactly what it is. And because of that, you can't really point out any flaws in it because it is what it is. You can't argue.
I mean,
I can't point out any flaws in the actual gameplay, but if I will say one thing, I didn't actually play the game before they released the patch updates for AMD, but apparently before that, the R9 390's performance was abysmal.
Yeah,
and something has to be done about this because
you got to buy.
I'm not sure whether it's on
cards.
AMD's. I'm not sure if it's on AMD's side or whether it's on the game maker side, but they've really got to stop doing this to AMD users because, we are the minority, probably from a 70-30 split, but I mean, that's still 30% of your market.
AMD scum.
You're pissing off 30% of your people.
Yeah, should we get in some news?
Yes, we shall.
I could talk about Doom all day. So.
I know, we all could, easily. But the first news story is Call of Duty Black Ops 1, the original, sales jump up 13,000% after the new Xbox One backwards compatibility update. I was even reading someplace that UK game sellers are actually in a rut right now because they can't provide as many as people are asking for. People are like buying all of the copies. Yeah, they can't keep up with demand.
That's crazy.
Yeah, honestly, I could see that because that was probably my favorite Call of Duty.
That was mine too.
For the story campaign, at least. And
the fact that it didn't bring the initial version of zombies,
but it made it what it is.
It made zombies good.
And the DLC and stuff with like John Romero and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Was it John Romero? It was, wasn't it? I don't know.
Yeah, I do realize that most people are in it for the multiplayer, but I mean.
Wait, hold on, wait, what? The DLC was from what?
There was DLC where it added like Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Danny Trejo and stuff like that as the characters.
You said John Romero.
Or there was some sort of horror. I can't remember. Don't worry, I'm watching Doom. I've got John Romero on my mind.
Now, one thing I can't remember, but is Black Ops 1 the one where in the zombie mode you get to play as one of the presidents?
Yeah.
Yes. I do remember that too. That was pretty good.
Yeah. But like,
although I don't think I'll be buying it for Xbox One, seeing as I have it on PC.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with
PC
kind
Master
of,
Race.
Yeah, with the sound, with the sales, it like may sound impressive. Like, don't get me wrong, it is. But you've got to imagine that barely any copies were being bought at the time before the backwards compatibility came in. So 13,000% isn't as crazy as it sounds. Like, if you say 100 copies were sold a month before the update, that means 1.3 million were sold, which is a huge amount still. But like, I think the percentage in the article kind of skews the perspective a little bit.
It's kind of clickbaity, to be honest.
And I'm just wondering exactly how much of this money Activision's have really been seeing anyway, seeing as most of it's probably been used copies, so it doesn't really help Activision all that much.
Maybe. But it kind of does go to show that people are looking at the older games more fondly before, they started getting tired of them. And like the server's even still running. I don't even know.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, I don't know. The whole thing between this and between them, like, teasing people with the Modern Warfare 1 remake that's only coming with the new game.
Oh yeah, I think that's going to change.
Yeah.
I think that's really going to change eventually.
It might, but you know what? You never know.
Because think about it, they could easily sell that for another $60.
They could, but they don't want that. They want to sell their new game.
Yeah, honestly, it's a bribe to get them to buy the new game. They're
Exactly.
gonna, like 6 months down the line, they're going to release it on its own.
Exactly.
No doubt about that. But everybody, all the COD like fan base, like as soon as the game comes out, they like rush out to buy it. So that's just they know exactly what they're doing, how they can squeeze more money out and sell the new copies.
And I have seen a couple of people online. I've watched some videos talking about it. They're like, "Am I going to buy the $80 version just so I can get Modern Warfare 1?" Yes.
Exactly.
Like, really?
It's like, are you really that much of an idiot? You're not gonna convince them that this isn't a good thing.
Doing that.
No.
They've already made up their mind. They're not really going to go back on it, despite their new trailer getting like 1 million dislikes and stuff. Which
now,
is
here's the
insane.
thing, though. I don't. One thing I don't understand, though. Okay, how does it really? I mean, the remake of Modern Warfare is mainly really going to accommodate to the people that liked playing the single player. I would imagine. I mean, I don't see as far as a multiplayer aspect goes. I mean, aren't all of them pretty much damn well the same?
Well, to an extent, but like some of the mechanics have been changed. Modern Warfare 1 was the one that a lot of people really like. That's what made Call of Duty explode.
Yeah.
And they are going to be, they're not dumb. They are going to be turning those servers back on.
Yeah. Oh, because it's a complete remaster. It's probably new altogether. But like, it's like this is class it as a new game. It's not kind of like a remade game. It's gonna be
but I mean, this just sounds. I mean, they're. I mean, I agree with Darren about it. It's going to get released eventually. Because I mean, think about it. Obviously, totally different. But I mean, Rise of the Tomb Raider, it was an Xbox exclusive for a while, and then they released it for PC, and later this year they're releasing it for Sony. They're not stupid. They want to get their money's worth everywhere.
No.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's some people that are just going to refuse to buy Infinite Warfare. It's just. I mean, I am. It
looks terrible.
It does.
I first watched trailer and I was like, okay, yeah, all right, this looks okay. But then I thought, hang on a minute, this isn't cool. This isn't Call of Duty at all. Like Call of Duty was grounded in reality in a way, and now they've moved so far away from it. I think I said it in like the last episode. They've moved so far away from it that it's not. They've forgot what's made them great in the first place.
Yeah, they don't even know what Call of Duty is anymore. They're just like, you want something new? Here's a suit to jump and wall running.
They're so focused on like adding new features that they're not actually taking a step back and going, okay, why were these so successful? Why did everyone love them? It's like, what can we add? What can we give them? What more? Because they're all just going to complain otherwise. But
it really tells me that they're reaching. They're really reaching right now. I mean, they're still selling like crazy. But
I mean, they've got victory dances. They've got a fucking sword. They've got like people doing watch me whip, watch me nay nay and shit at the end of the fucking match.
I'm sorry, but when it comes to like revitalizing the series, I mean, obviously you talked about this last week, but the new Battlefield one, I really am looking forward to.
Oh man,
yeah.
I mean, it looks like I'm not even a Battlefield fan really, but it looks good.
I'm a huge Battlefield fan. Like I just cannot wait. I'm really excited.
The main thing that got me away from Battlefield.
Had to kill you there.
Let him talk, Robert. Matt,
but that's okay. Matt talks over me all the time. I'm used to it. Even when it's just the two of us. Anyway, I was gonna say that the one thing that really turned me off to Battlefield was how complex and ridiculous Battlelog was when it first came out.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't get it to work with my browser, and we were sitting there, and I remember it was like 45 minutes in to try and get the game started. One of my friends just like, oh wow, this sure is fun. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it was really buggy at first, but they obviously ironed it out over time. I just hope they kind of learned from what the mistakes they made from the beginning, and maybe that they're using the same sort of format, so it might work right out the box. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I do think that they've learned their lesson from Hardline, that you can't really sell a chopped down game at full price. I mean, come on, guys.
Exactly. But yeah, Call of Duty, 13,000% is a crazy amount of sales. But like I said, it does go to show, like, people speak of their wallet, what they want. And they don't really want a Call of Duty game, a new Call of Duty game. They want the old ones still. They should just go through and remaster all of them except for Ghosts. It just goes
Yeah,
through.
screw Ghost. Well, I think Ghost was the beginning of the end for them anyway.
Yeah, that was the start of the decline. Although the next ones after that sold pretty well. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah.
What's next?
All right. Next one is the Washington Post has been targeted by angry Uncharted 4 fans for giving it a bad review. Fans even created a petition to have them take down the negative review. And as Darren pointed out, Troy Baker, sadly enough, is behind this.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad.
So right now I'm going to rant and then I'm just going to be done.
Go ahead.
That'd be my bit. Like, yeah, I tweeted about it the other day and it's just really disgraceful behavior. Like the mob mentality that the games industry has is like really embarrassing for us. Like this one incident is one of many, I'm sure. But like, despite gaming being one of the fastest growing industries, it just it's making more money than the music and the film industry. But this is just proof that this industry has major growing pains, major problems. Like people take these scores so seriously to the point they try and silence someone's opinion. I know they said it wasn't legitimate. It wasn't a legitimate review. Apparently, I mean, I don't know too much about that. But with all like the stellar reviews Uncharted 4 got, it doesn't even make a dent in its overall score. It's ridiculous. And what's also ridiculous is that Troy Baker jumped on the bandwagon, like we said, like I tweeted about it the other day. Like, what is he even thinking? Whether he knows or not, he's become quite an influential figure. And to see him shitting over someone's opinion is just pretty immature. And people have got to stop having this mob mentality to things. You can't live in a society that encourages freedom of speech and then get offended that Mr. John Doe didn't like the game and try and shut him up. It's just ridiculous. Like people seem to think that someone disliking something they love somehow has an effect on them and their enjoyment of that thing. And the fact that this is because of a Metacritic score makes this whole thing hilariously pathetic. And I'm done. That was my rant.
Yeah,
Okay.
I completely agree. I mean, we can't be like cutting people's heads off because they don't like the game. And it didn't even say that he didn't think the game. He didn't, he just doesn't like the game. The reviewer said he doesn't like it.
Yeah, he said it was predictable and it didn't do anything new or anything like that.
And
something like
heck,
that.
I mean, I've never played Uncharted, so I really can't put up much of an opinion on it. But I mean, very well could have.
I mean,
I don't know.
every game is going to have their critic. Every game is going to have somebody. Every movie, game, song is going to have somebody that doesn't like it. That's the beauty of the industry being as big as it is. You have so many different types of games.
You have choice. So much choice.
You have choice, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just because somebody on the Washington Post may not have liked the way that went, and they were told to review the game and they didn't like it, who cares? I mean, that's one person.
Yeah.
Metacritic is like really toxic anyway. If you look at the actual user scores on there, it's all just a bunch of petty bullshit. People are just going on there and rating something down even if they haven't played the game.
Exactly.
They just want to shit on, like if you go to Call of Duty,
any
Call of Duty, you're always going to see Battlefield guys going, fuck this, 0 out of 100. I'm like,
it's rubbish. I didn't even play it, but it's rubbish. Yeah.
or it'll be like lol, or they'll just be like LOL, fuck you, and just have a 0. And that's not even close to a legit. It's about as delegitimate as you can be.
Yeah.
But yeah, user reviews are a joke on that. I think that's the reason why Steam is going more towards like recent reviews versus overall. To kind of so you can kind of feel out the climate of where things are for the game at this point versus overall.
Because so many people have a gut reaction to things. Like if they don't like a game, like when it first comes out, they'll shit all over it, leave a really crappy review, and then on Steam, like you'll look at them and say, "Oh, I hate this game. I played it for a few hours. It's broke. It doesn't work." And then you look at the thing, it's like they've played it for 300 hours. You're like, seriously, like this is reviews. I think a lot of companies rely on reviews a lot, like or just even like public opinion, because like the game. Wow, I was going to say Game of Thrones then. I love Game of Thrones. I wouldn't shit on Game of Thrones. The thing with like the Call of Duty trailer, when it got 1 million dislikes, the guy who's head of the whole project had to talk to people in the head office and explain why it got 1 million dislikes. It's like, why does it even matter? A dislike is just as easy as clicking a button. It doesn't mean a single thing. People are going to buy it regardless. But anyway, we're talking about the Uncharted 4 review. I just think it's utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, I just don't see. I mean, they're making such a big fuss about this review. It's not going to hurt their sales. I mean, it's just
hasn't.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like for me, this wouldn't even honestly, this wouldn't even be a story to me if it wasn't for the fact that Troy Baker is like for it.
Yeah.
Which makes me really disappointed because I have a lot of respect for Troy Baker, and he's been a really big, like you said, he's been a really big influence in the gaming world, especially when it comes to being a professional voice actor in games. He's kind of like shown people that you can do all kinds of different stuff, and he's kind of legitimized voice acting in games a little bit.
He's a public figure for the games industry, and it's like to see him, like I said earlier, like supporting this like mob mentality of getting a review taken down is just so no. It winds me up because it's just so pathetic.
The best thing to do in these situations is ignore the review, give it no attention, and perhaps they won't put up something like that again. I mean, and even if they do, ignore it. Just keep ignoring it.
Or what you can do is you can look at it subjectively and say, is this just somebody shitting on it because they don't like it? You're not... People are allowed to dislike things.
Exactly,
that's what a lot of people on the internet want to bunch together and be like, no, my group says you're fucking stupid, so fuck you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like Robert. I remember when you got your PS4, you bought Infamous Second Son, and I was like, man, they gave this shit reviews, and you enjoyed it anyway.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when a game gets like a 7 out of 10, people think it's bad. Like, oh, I'm not going to buy that. 7 out of 10. It's like, are you serious? Like, Bulletstorm didn't get very good reviews. I fucking love that game.
Bulletstorm was great.
Well, I mean, heck, it's like in certain reviewers, heck, a 5 out of 10 is considered an average. Like, if you watch Angry Joe and he gives a game a 5 out of 10, it's not a bad game. It's just what he considers, cookie cutter average. Well,
that's the reason why reviews, the way that they're set up today, there's no real... Like, a 5 from one reviewer could be completely different from a 5 from another reviewer.
Everyone has their own metric for it.
It's subjective. Yeah. Even if the metric is the same, 1 through 10, but they could mean different things to different people.
Exactly, yeah. Like, a review is so subjective that even the score is subjective. An 8 to somebody might be like, I'm not going to buy that, it's an 8. But then an 8 somebody else be like, oh, that sounds great, I'm going to get it. Like, I'm really excited to buy that game, it got an 8 out of 10. It's like, they don't mean anything. People should stop really looking at the score and actually read the review and see what they see their thoughts, and then weigh up your opinion and weigh up the options and kind of base your opinion on that, not just like go 4 out of 10 brah! Like, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like I don't really trust just one review. And plus, I mean, if you don't like reading, there's always YouTube. They always put reviews on YouTube. Like, I mean, I always go through all the major YouTubers, like YouTube reviewers, like IGN and GameSpot, and
I like reading just as much as the next guy. But if there's a video review, I'll watch that instead, because then obviously you got the visual element too.
A lot of the times, the actual text reviews they basically are the scripts for the video reviews.
Yeah, IGN's is that, I think. Like, I looked at it and it was literally just like a transcript. I was like,
which is funny because but at the end of some of their videos are like, if you want more, go to the written review. And I go to the written review, it's like the same thing. It's like,
they're just taking some paragraphs out of it.
They just want you to visit their website.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
It's a jackass. I didn't want to come here.
But yeah, like this whole Uncharted 4 thing, it's ridiculous. I don't know what the state of it is now. Like, this was at like the beginning of the week, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. I don't know what the state of it is right now, but I know that they were putting like up a petition to have people they're like, oh, we want to take it down. Why? Honestly, if you go to the Washington Post for your video game reviews, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
I've never ever before today, I've never ever read a review, a game review from Washington Post, because I don't give a shit what Washington Post says. They're the fucking Washington Post.
And then when Forbes posts like a game review, it's like, sure, they have like a guy who plays games reviewing stuff, but they're not a game site. They're not like, no. This is just like a little kind of branch off for them. It's not a proper thing. It's like one guy probably reviewing like 20 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably because they have to at this point, because gaming is so big, you can't ignore it.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like reading a gun review from the Huffington Post. You don't need to be too critical on that. They're anti-gun as hell, and if you, you don't go to like GameStop or Spot or something to watch a car review. I mean, there's no such thing, but still, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Unless they're saying the car explodes, please stop, don't buy it.
Yeah, we're not with it. We're a game site, but this car is extremely dangerous. We've lost two of our staff members because of it. Yeah, but yeah.
You gotta take the source for granted. You gotta take the source with a grain of salt, and
Also, Polychops is in the chat. He said he just woke up.
Yeah,
you weasel.
He was supposed to come on today, but we couldn't get hold of him, so we.
It's okay. It's okay, Polychops.
Yeah, don't worry. Next week or something.
We have you on enough anyway. Son of a bitch.
But yeah, so what's the next piece of news that we have here?
The next piece of news is a very interesting one to contemplate. Nintendo apparently has a new movie in the works. No details beyond that have been revealed as of yet.
Yeah.
You know what? Want to know my initial reaction to reading this is facepalm.
Oh really?
No, I don't. I mean, with how many bad things they've done in the TV industry, I just can't see it.
That's because they kind of made the mistake of licensing their property out to other people. Like that Super Mario Brothers film wasn't made by Nintendo. They sold the license to someone.
But you have to admit, that's going to be the mindset most people have behind it.
Right, but you have to think about it that was in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
That was in, I don't remember exactly when it was, but I think it was like the early to mid 90s. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I'm going to be very hesitant to even see it.
I mean, I'll be hesitant. It's kind of like I'm hesitant about the whole fucking Warcraft movie. Not like I give a shit about it anyway.
That looks pretty awful. I'm not gonna lie.
If Blizzard made a movie, and if Blizzard, I'm sorry, they already made a movie. I'm just talking about in a circle.
Have you seen the Overwatch movie? Yes. Oh, they're amazing. They should make movies.
That's what I was gonna say. They should make CG type movies.
Yeah.
Like that, because I mean they pretty much already do. Like if you've played Diablo or if you've played any of those other ones, they do basically do fully high-end awesome CG cutscenes that are like movies.
That's right, yeah. And like when I was watching that Overwatch short film, I was just sitting there watching it, like really enjoying it, and then it finished. I was like, oh shit! I was watching a YouTube video, not a movie. I was really into it. Like the Winston one is really cool. With Reaper when he comes in, and like the other two are really cool as well. I quite like the I can't even remember their names anymore.
I watched the one with the most recent one with Hanzo, and they're basically telling the story of the two and Genji, the two dragon brothers.
Yeah,
and it was just like really, really good and actually emotional.
Yeah, it was good. The animation's incredible.
Yeah, for something that's basically ultimately an advertisement for the game, but you can tell that they love the story and like the lore enough that they want to build it up.
Yeah.
They want people to love these characters, not just because they're in the game, but because they love the characters in general.
Yeah, it seems like they've got a lot more plans, like with the Overwatch series. This isn't just like a one-off. I got a feeling this is going to be, an ongoing thing.
There was talk the other day that they were posting some stuff that insinuated that they're, quote, activating new agents or having new characters.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know it was that sort of setting until I watched the short film, and I was like, oh, it's actually like an Avengers type initiative where they activate them like sleeper agents. And
they've all been like, they've all fought together, and each one of them has their own backstory that relates to another one. Like Soldier 76 used to be the head of Overwatch before he became this cyborg freak.
Yeah, you don't really get that sort of thing from playing the game. So it's good to have this extra stuff, but maybe
you don't. But you also have like all the different personalities, and some of the skins showed the pre-Overwatch versions of them.
Yeah.
Before all of the stuff.
But like with the whole Nintendo thing, going back to that, like I love how late to the game they are with everything. It's just really funny. Like they're so quirky and weird. They seem to handle everything the opposite way of most companies. But like this is quite a natural step for them, though. I'm surprised. A full-length feature film hasn't happened sooner. Like I said, they're always late to it. But like, their properties are like really versatile. They're able to put a lot of different things, put it into different things like toys, cartoons, games, like Smash Bros and stuff like that.
I mean, to be honest, Mario is like, let's just face it, he's the Mickey Mouse of video games.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
he is.
Yeah, he is.
Although, all things being fair, I don't know that I'd want to see another Mario movie.
Well, I wouldn't personally want to, but it's kind of like say what was the new one coming out, the Ratchet and Clank movie?
Yeah.
It looks really good, but it looks like it's probably like your standard 3D kids movie, but that's okay. When it's undiscernible from a standard kids movie, I think that's good because we're moving in a direction to where they can actually have that kind of depth for a video game character.
Yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is if it were, I mean, honestly, I would really love to see them do something with like The Legend of Zelda if they're talking about a movie.
I want to see. Well, Legend of Zelda, that's been thrown around like the one time when IGN threw out like this trailer for a Legend of Zelda one as a joke.
Yeah, it was the April Fool's thing, wasn't it?
People were so fucking pissed.
What, that it was fake or that
it was fake?
Yeah,
because it looked good.
Yeah. Did you also see their April Fool's thing with the Halo musical? It was like a Bollywood Halo. And the guy,
I never
and the
saw
guy's
that.
like in his Master Chief armor. He takes off his helmet and they're dancing around. He's like, "I need a weapon." It's great.
Now.
But like, yeah, this article that's up on the screen right now, it says that they're going to try and do it themselves, which is obviously pretty predictable coming from Nintendo. Like, they don't like anyone touching their franchise anymore after the abysmal Mario Bros. Movie. But
Well,
like,
honestly,
it makes sense for them to actually, tackle it themselves. They know exactly what the property is. They know exactly what to do with it. Like, they haven't really done anything wrong with Mario recently.
No, not recently. Okay, all the stuff they've done with Mario recently, I would say falls into the category of safe.
Yeah, safe. Yeah,
Yeah, it's very safe.
They haven't really taken any risks, which is kind of sad because I think that a new Mario Galaxy would be a lot more refreshing than anything that they've done.
Yeah.
So far.
But I mean, if you look at it, the reason they're doing that is because the Galaxy games didn't really sell all that well.
Right, but they also have I don't know. The Galaxy games to a lot of people are like the really, true spiritual successor to the Mario franchise, kind of like Sunshine was.
But if you actually look at their sales, it seems like the reason they keep putting out stuff that's very same is because that's what people seem to want.
Right.
I don't know exactly.
That's because it appeals to a wider market.
I call it the Call of Duty syndrome.
Well, the Call of Duty syndrome is released. Like, they still release some stuff with Mario that is similar to the old stuff, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think
Call of Duty syndrome.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Carry on.
I was gonna say Call of Duty syndrome would be like if they literally released the exact same game over and over, which they've done to an extent, but they do they have like the 3D Mario series, like the 3D World series, and they also have like the.
But what I'm saying is that their best-selling games are the ones that are very similar to the old classics.
But with Nintendo games, though, you always feel like a lot of love went into it, even if it is very similar to the last one before it. Like, you always get this sense of, they put a lot of their heart and soul into the game. Like, I'm not saying like Call of Duty, like Infinity Ward and all that didn't put their heart and soul into the game, but it just feels less churned out than like Call of Duty.
I think Call of Duty's very soulless.
But like say for example, if you look at Mario Maker, you can tell that was given a lot of love because even on the intro screen, you can interact with so many things on the intro screen to do random weird shit.
Yeah, now I'm not gonna slam Mario Maker. That is
Mario Maker is something that I think is gonna last for a long time. I don't think they need like a sequel to it. But I think that it's going to be something that's going to stand the test of time.
Yeah, they could do a lot with it. I think if they did bring out a sequel, there are still a lot of things that they could do, and they've probably, already got a lot of things lined up for it. But like with a movie, I think the obvious movie would be like a Mario movie or a Zelda movie. But honestly, I'd like to see some kind of like Avengers type thing where all different characters all kind of band together to take on the enemies of those franchises. I think that'd be awesome.
They could make it the Smash Brothers movie.
Exactly.
But it could be like this big epic thing where all of them come together.
They should make it really gritty, like Chris Nolan. Like
Polychops just said Call of Duty is so robotic, even the soldiers are robots now.
See, Polychops, why aren't you here? You would have said that ages ago. We were talking about Call of Duty earlier.
But anyway, I personally would really love to, and this is just because in general I haven't seen a lot of games for it in a long time. Metroid would make a really good, like, honestly they could make it like a T for teen level, or I guess PG-13 or even like a PG level. I don't think Nintendo would ever take that risk, which is sad because a PG-13 gritty Metroid would be fucking awesome.
That would be good.
Get the lore of it and just make it really awesome, because like even just playing Metroid Prime in 3D, like I was like, oh god, this world is beautiful.
Now that you say that, I take that back. Legend of Zelda, I don't think so. I would rather go with Metroid.
Yeah, Metroid is my all-time favorite Nintendo franchise, and that's why I'm so sad that they're like, oh, we're gonna put out a Metroid kind of game, but not really. Ha ha.
I think
Fuck
like
you guys.
they've got Pikmin
you,
and they've got Pikmin and Splatoon, but I see those sort of things as maybe being like TV series, if anything. Maybe Pikmin could be like a short film. Do you know, like Pixar do their short films?
Yeah,
Pikmin
could actually be a really, really charming short film, or even a really charming movie. And I think Splatoon could probably be like a Saturday morning series.
Yeah.
I mean, Splatoon, I maybe I'm just not seeing the potential for it, but I mean, it's multiplayer based. I mean,
right, but I'm saying the characters and the personality in it. It's like kids that are also squids that like shoot paint on each other and stuff.
They were kids but they were also squids. And it'd be like a Saturday morning cartoon type. Well, hey, guys.
Well, I mean, I haven't played Splatoon, so I have no clue.
Well, don't get splat now. It'd just be like really like cheesy Saturday. It'd be sweet.
It'd be like a remake of Recess.
Yeah, it would be. But yeah, what sort of films would you think then would be the most likely? I really hope it's like our Smash Bros type Avengers thing we said.
Yeah, like an Avengers Smash Bros thing would be awesome.
Yeah.
No, I mean honestly, if you're talking about most likely, they'll probably do Mario again, just because it's the
honestly,
most popular one.
You know what could be safe enough to be in the Mario world if they made a Yoshi movie.
Yeah.
Yoshi is cute, and Yoshi has like a whole backstory of his own.
Yeah.
He has like, Yoshi is a race. Like he has all different Yoshis, and he could go on his own little adventure and still be like cute and safe.
Yeah.
For kids, and then adults could still probably enjoy it.
Yeah, like I think like the Avengers thing that we just said would be really awesome, but I think that would be them blowing their load all at once.
Yeah.
Like with the whole movies, it's like the first movie they release is just every single character. It's like, well, we've done it now. Like, what else can we do? So yeah.
What do you think they need to like release a Mario movie and have him get the call from like Tony Stark?
Yeah, like the end credits. Yeah, it'd be like a Metroid or whatever. Samus would call him at the end. Like the phone rings or whatever, and she picks it up, and it's just like you see, it's just like a black silhouette standing there, go Mario. Hey, and then it's like the lightning flashes and you see her face in her visor and you're just like, oh my god, it's a Metroid in the movie.
or you kind of like see her, like she's in the shadows, but you see her visor turn on and it's that V pattern. It's like, whoa, and you're like, oh!
Yeah. That'd be sweet.
Suck all the air out of the room. Yeah. It's like, millions dead.
So that is the main news for the week. Shall we move into quickfire?
Quickfire.
Yeah, but before we do, I just want to say thanks for everyone who's tuned in, wherever you are, whatever platform you're consuming this. It'd be really awesome if you could leave us a like, subscribe, follow, whatever it is you need to do. It'd really help us out, and I'd really, really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm really liking this live format we got, and now we're streamed to YouTube as well. Like I was really worried everything's gonna break, but it's all good. It's running good. So I'm always like on edge. You understand me?
like he's like stress vomiting like 5 minutes before you guys should hear him. He's just like, oh god, it's gonna explode. It's gonna suck. It's gonna. Hi guys, what's up?
Yeah. So now it's time for quickfire news. Woohoo! So okay. Go for it, Robert. Take us away.
I thought you were doing quickfire since Chris isn't here.
Oh, I am doing quickfire. Can you do it?
It's like, oh, that's right.
I'll do it anyway.
I'll
do it. I really forgot. I thought it was Chris who's supposed to do it.
That's okay. Just read the black text, bro.
People can fly. No, I'm joking. So, first one. People Can Fly, creators of Painkiller and Bulletstorm, are working on the new, unnamed AAA game. Wow, my mouth, it doesn't work today. AAA. Yeah, so the guys who made Bulletstorm are making a new game, and it's a new IP.
Yeah, they also did the PC for Gears of War, but I didn't include that because not terribly relevant.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Which is why I'm spending so much time talking about it. Yay!
But it seems like last console generation had way too many sequels going on. We were just like getting the same of everything over and over. But now with a new generation, this kind of gives devs like a fresh start. And I really enjoy Bulletstorm. I think it's pretty underrated. But if they go in with the same attitudes they did with that, I'll be a happy man.
Yeah, just let us jump, please.
Yeah. Matt,
that's my only comment.
What have you got to say about it?
Me? I've never played the game, so I don't know.
Okay.
Matt doesn't care. Confirmed. IGN acquires recently closed company Game Trailers, revives their old channel and website for the purpose of posting game trailers. And
I believe they're reviving some of the old shows as well.
Yeah. I mean, if all it's going to be is just this vacant archive of videos, then that kind of sucks. But it was a smart move on IGN's part to kind of grab that property. But without knowing what they're going to do with it, it might just be like, their failed YouTube channel that they had IGN start. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it's good news, I guess, for Game Trailers people. I think they might be keeping some of the people who were on it originally, but we'll see.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Press prematurely.
Blew your load too early.
I mean, another YouTube channel that does game trailers.
Yeah.
Not really super interested.
Hideo Kojima reveals the full character model of his new company's logo.
Yeah, it's
that's
actually
pretty badass.
Yeah.
It's actually really cool. Can you bring it up really quick?
All right. I wasn't prepared for that, so now I gotta.
Everything's breaking.
Help me!
It's falling apart.
I found it. Don't worry.
Yay.
Okay, so it'd be up. There's obviously a delay for you guys.
Yeah, I got it.
But me and the viewers at home will be able to see this. But yeah, it looks really cool. It looks pretty badass. I'm getting like a kind of Interstellar vibe with it. And he said fans of Uncharted would love this game. So maybe if it's some sort of open world Metal Gear Solid 5, but with some kind of planetary exploration thing. Like,
I mean, definitely third person.
Stuff. Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a given at this point.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, the actual look of it looks really, it has like kind of like a, I don't know if I guess the word is centurion, but it has like an old knight mixed with like new high-tech knight feel, and he's got like a skull in there, so I don't know if that's like a dead person inside of a thing or if it's just like a projection to scare people.
You know what it reminds me of is that Doctor Who episode with the
yeah,
because the skull inside the spacesuit.
Yeah. But it's Kojima though. It's undoubtedly going to be weird.
Yeah.
And the next one is let me get off of that. Dark Souls 3 for PC gets a first-person mod, making the game all the more stressful. I didn't read that before, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, it's very impressive, so let's make an already hard game virtually impossible. People will love it.
I mean, we already saw how the first-person view made GTA a tad bit more difficult, especially if you're doing a heist in online.
Yeah,
imagine how much worse it is. How much worse is it going to be in a game where it's already stressing you the hell out?
From what I already saw, like the main thing is that the person who made the mod, they made it to where you know, like in games where you're basically like in VR games where you have your hands and you're moving your arms around. It's kind of like that. Like the hands are floating. Like say if you do a spin attack, it doesn't spin your entire body around. It does. Well, it spins the arms around and you're still facing forward in terms of your view.
Yeah.
But that also makes it to where, like, if you're in a boss fight and you're running away from somebody full speed, facing away from it, it's going to be like, boom, boom, boom.
How about this as an idea, guys? I mean, if they already got that kind of thing going on, maybe some modders planning on putting it on the Vive or something.
Oh, God.
That would be kind of cool, don't you think?
No, I think it would be fucking terrifying.
It'd be cool, but really lame.
But seriously, Matt, I don't know.
No!
If you
more Dark Souls 3 first-person mod talk ever. Just joking. You could go download it if you want. You have my permission. So... Okay. More details of the Nintendo NX have been revealed. Nintendo President Tatsumi Kimishima, wow, thanks for writing that in there, says the console will be something very new for gamers. The console will also not be sold at a loss and is projected to release in March of 2017. So I'm very intrigued of what it's going to be. No doubt it's going to be something really weird and confusing that everyone will scrutinize straight away until they buy it and enjoy it. But it sounds like it's going to be pretty expensive.
Oh, yeah. And the president basically said that, like, obviously he didn't reveal much. He's like, oh, it's something that people are going to enjoy. But he also said that he's excited to try it himself. So apparently he hasn't even tried it. So
I actually second that whole very expensive thing because there is another article that is touting that the new NX is going to possibly be using a NVIDIA Tegra processor using Pascal technology, and we've already seen what Pascal has done on the graphics side front of things.
Yeah.
I mean, the 1080 is like a beast.
Yeah.
And imagine, I mean, maybe not as much on a scale of that because it's going to be an ARM processor, obviously, not x86.
It's going to have the same kind of processor for people who are not familiar with all the technical lingo. An ARM processor is the same kind of processor you have in your phones.
Yes,
wait,
mobile stuff.
I figured it out. They're releasing movies. The NX is going to be a Blu-ray player.
Oh, no!
Blu-ray player confirmed. That's what the NX is. The primary ISP for Morocco has banned online gaming. Well, there goes my plan of moving to Morocco. It's madness, I tell you. It's madness.
But apparently they were like really critical of VoIP, as well.
Yeah.
I guess because people are using it in dubious ways, but they've also moved.
This.
I don't know. It's really weird. It's like I guess it's the ISP's choice, but they're really cracking down in that country, and I really feel bad for people there who like gaming.
Maybe the only thing I could see is maybe the ISP can't handle the load. I don't know. That'd be a stupid thing to do, but I mean, I guess technically, I guess maybe a bunch of old people are like, "Oh, my Netflix is running slow."
Yeah,
I mean, be the video games.
I mean, I don't know what their like internet infrastructure is there, but maybe it is this bandwidth thing of like so many people are using. I don't know. Do they have good internet in Morocco? I don't know.
I have no clue.
I'm not sure.
This really sucks for you gamers in Morocco. I'm really sorry. But
on the other side of things,
tune into Wizard Mode to get all your latest gaming news and stuff.
But in other words, they're going to be demanding more single-player games in Morocco.
Yeah, well.
Or couch co-op.
Yeah, but like the guys at Bulletstorm are like, well, guys, at least we have our Morocco audience. So, if you've been tuning in since the beginning, you've noticed the podcast, since the beginning of the podcast, not this episode, you've noticed it's like taken many shapes. And we'll probably continue to keep morphing it like some sort of wet, soggy clay until we're happy with it. But we're completely open to your suggestions and feedback, so feel free to send them to us if there's something, like a segment suggestion or anything. But yeah, we're still working out how the podcast is, and we really like how it is at the minute. It's quite flexible now. But yeah, we're still open to your suggestions, so feel free to send them in however you can. But we're also working out some kind of viewer question segment where you can ask us anything, literally anything. It doesn't have to be about games. It could be about cats if you want. I really don't care. But
be about pudding.
Yeah, it could be about pudding. So if you want to start sending stuff in, please do. We'll start putting them all in a list together, and we'll start tackling them every week. But yeah, so to do that,
unless it's negative, and then we'll have Troy Baker take it down.
Yeah, exactly. We'll get Troy Baker in here, you scumbags. But yeah, all you have to do is just leave a comment below if you're on YouTube, or tweet them to me at Beastby Gaming on Twitter. Obviously, that's where you tweet stuff on Twitter. But also email them to me at Beastby Gaming too, beastbygaming@gmail.com. Wow. It's just Beastby Gaming wherever I can find it. Because somebody keeps taking Beastby. It's really annoying. But in the future, we're going to be setting up a proper Wizard Mode social media stuff soon. So look out for that. We'll switch over to that. But hopefully, it'll be all nice and painless for you guys. But yes, it is now time for our not brand new, but pretty new segment, The Wheel of Destiny. And if you don't know what this is a special wheel. There you go. I closed it. Where we just spin the wheel and it tells us to do stuff, and then we have to do it. We must obey, mustn't we?
And if you have suggestions for the Wheel of Destiny, also let us know.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man.
And I'm going to try and click the wheel and press the sound at the same time, because it's never worked, but this time I got a feeling it might work. Okay, I'm scared. My hand's shaking. Oh, it did it! Oh my god! I'm jamming on
beautiful.
Rant. Nintendo is delusional and needs to get a grip. I believe this is your rant, Robert. So feel free to just vent your frustrations here and now. This is the platform for you to do so. Take it away.
Okay. So in general, it seems like Nintendo has a tendency, like we've already discussed, to be very behind the times and in their own kind of little bubble. And it really annoys me. Like the way that Nintendo deals with, like, say, for example, when they started off with online, they're like, no, we don't need online. Everybody's doing online, though. No, fuck it, we're not doing online. Okay, we'll do online. But we're not gonna do HD, like full HD. But everybody else, shut up, we're Nintendo. We're gonna do it. Okay, we'll do HD, fine, fuck it, whatever. You have HD, but you're gonna use this tablet thing. But we don't want that. You're gonna love the fucking tablet. I'm certainly turning into a Nintendo version of Donald Trump. It's gonna be huge. You're gonna love it.
A huge wall to keep all of Nintendo properties in.
I believe it's more like this. It's like, no, we don't need HD. No. Oh, by the way, guys, we came up with this brand new thing, HD, and with Nintendo.
We're gonna have the Marios and all the.
We're gonna have the best HD in town.
We're gonna have the Yoshis and the Kirby's and maybe some Metroids. Who knows? Who cares? Those Metroid people. I assume some of them are good people.
I assume, but they don't bring the best people. They don't.
But basically, like, it really annoys me that Nintendo is just like so set in their ways. They're kind of like Apple in that they're like, no, we're gonna do it our way. But it's been proven that people, no, fuck you, we're Nintendo. We're gonna do it.
It's what people
and they just
people love them and hate them for it, don't they?
Well,
it's like they're like, oh yeah, Metroid. We're gonna put out like, you want Metroid games? Here, have a multiplayer Metroid game that looks cartoony that's on the DS, the 3DS, and by the way, Samus isn't even in it. Because that's totally what you want, right? That's what you no. Well then, fuck you. We're Nintendo.
I think that's their slogan now. Fuck you, we're Nintendo.
Fuck you, we're Nintendo. Give us your money, please.
Did you get out of your system?
Yeah, more or less.
Do you feel better now?
Feel a little bit better, yeah.
Oh, great. That's good. I've got a rant on this wheel as well. I'm looking forward to that. But then they've started making some positive changes, so I don't know how that rant will turn out. But I've still got plenty to complain about. But
You're gonna have to like put like asterisks all over it, like this is Anyway.
But yeah, everyone, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. I had a lot of fun this week.
Me too.
Yeah, it was most enjoyable. Yeah. And thanks for tuning in. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, whatever the terminology is on the respective platform that you're on. Please do leave us
Write
a
our
review.
name.
Yeah.
Tattoo our name onto your wrist, whatever you gotta do.
Leave us a review on iTunes if you're listening to that. That would be most appreciated. And thanks for watching, everyone. And
All right.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Later.